Good morning. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. We made it through another 7 days. Okay? You ready to get started? Let's go spend some time with God.
Hey, it's Saturday. That means we're going to spend some time with God. Welcome to Saturdays with God with your girl, Ashley Renee. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get started.
Why is change so hard? I mean, it's just, no one likes change, right? I hate it. I know. Hate is such a strong word, Ashley. Yes, you are right. I'm just saying I really don't like it, especially when it's thrust upon you. So just so we're clear, I'm talking about specifically the changes that are outside of our control. Life's little adjustments, the divorce after 20 years, the having to move all of a sudden, the relationship ending, any type of relationship, the loss of a job, the unintended new career, the change that gives us anxiety and causes us to pause. The change that causes you to breathe deeply and to lay in bed just a little bit longer. It causes us to retreat back to old habits. I stopped drinking. Or for some people, I haven't had a drink in 2 years, and then something happens and I need a drink. And right now, y'all, it's one of those times where I need a drink. I'm going to pause here and say I'm not making fun of anybody who struggles with alcoholism or any type of addiction. Not at all. But for the grace of God, go I. Okay? All right. For the last, I'll say 20 months or so, it's been one change or adjustment after the other. Sometimes making me feel like I'm spiraling out of control. Just a flood of emotions and anxiety. Falling much like Alice in Wonderland down the rabbit hole. Except I keep trying to grab onto something, someone, anything, and nothing works, and I end up feeling so alone. Where most of these changes are small and insignificant. All were completely out of my control. And now knowing that I have been a control freak for most of my life, change is not my friend. Changes, all of them, they cause me to pause. Change disrupts my status quo. Status quo is a Latin phrase, meaning the existing state of affairs. It generally applies to maintain or to change existing social structure or values. I just remember in the movie National Treasure where the dad is like, we have to keep the status quo when they get kidnapped by the bad guys. And he's just like, we got to keep the status quo. That's what Pops is like, don't change nothing, don't do nothing, keep it the same. Don't go outside the line, stay. We good, right? We're right here. Just stay right here. Don't move. Don't change it. Right? Well, for me, meanwhile, for you, whatever, you've been praying, asking God to help you to see your way out of various situations and circumstances. And let's keep it 1,000 for a second. Is it that change is a problem because it isn't what you thought it was going to happen? Or is it an issue because you didn't choose it? It just happened. This is not what I wanted. Of course, this is always about me. So I will say yes. When I ask for a fix or for help, this ain't what I wanted. This wasn't what I expected. I had a plan in my own head of how it should go. That's problem number one. When it didn't go how I expected, I wanted to be childish and go back to old ways and old habits. That's problem number 2. Okay? Snap out of it. Remember Last week, you needed to know the right path to take. You were completely at a crossroads. Now the path is lit and you tripping. Quit tripping. Here's why. Number one, God heard your prayers. He heard and answered. Number two is there's always a purpose and a plan for your life when it looked like this don't make sense. There's a purpose. There's a plan. Number three, while everything around you may change, God never changes. You learn more and more about him the closer you get, and the picture becomes more focused. But yesterday, today, and tomorrow, same God. Same God. Number four, it is my job to be steadfast, focused, unmovable, always rushing to the work of the Lord. Whatever he has told me to do, whatever's in my hand, that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. That's what I am here to do. Don't worry about what others are doing. Stay in your lane and mind your business. Number five, no matter what happens, what it looks like, know that all things work out for you for your good. Because you've been called according to his purpose. So now what? Last week it was, what do I do? This week, God done lit it up. Here's the plan. This is the road I need you to take. Next week, bust a move. One moment at a time. Move in the direction given. Don't sit. Don't stop moving. Okay? Keep moving forward. We've been talking about that forever. Take hope in God because he never changes. He is forever the same. And breathe. It gets better. It gets better. And yes, your status quo may change, but it's all for your good. It's all for your good. Status has got to change. Relationships are going to end. And when we talk about relationships, we're not talking about, we like to tend to think that relationships, we're talking about romantic relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. No, not just that. Your business relationships, friendships, regular friendships, deep, long-lasting friendships. Sometimes they got to change. And here's the other part. You already know what it is. Stop playing. You've seen the signs. You've seen the things that's like, this ain't working. But you keep moving forward with it instead of in the direction that God is pointing you to. I'm going to back up. For me, a lot of times, there are times when God will purposefully point something out to me. A person, a place, a thing, and I'm moving fast, but that person, that place, that thing seems to slow down for just a second, like it catches my attention. And when it catches my attention, I have learned that's going to come back around again. It's something significant about that person. It's something significant about that place or that thing. And it's going to come around again. Most of us are not paying attention because we too busy worrying about other people and other things and comparing ourselves and looking at what the Joneses have and what we ain't got. I know that's not grammatically correct, whatever. What we ain't got. Okay? This is why I say mind your business. What is your business? Now, as kids in the African American community, I'm going to tell you, your parents tell you all the time, mind your business. And they say it with a negative connotation. But the truth of the matter is, you should be minding your business. Your business is that thing that God pointed out to you, that thing that God has been showing you over and over and over again, but you steady keep trying to make this work. I'm going to make this work. And God is like, that's not going to work. I need you to change. Here's where the change has to come in. And the more you keep trying to go down that road, you're like, man, if it ain't one thing or another, get off the road. Please note, if this is your first time watching, I am yelling and being animated right now because I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to myself. Okay? Ashley, get it together. But my point is, you keep trying to maintain this status quo. For who? For what? Because you're afraid of change? Because you don't want to change? Because you're concerned that if I change, I'm going to miss something. I won't get what so-and-so has? We come back to that picture, and I'll put it up, but that picture of the little girl holding the teddy bear. And Jesus is kneeling to her, and he has something behind his back that she cannot see. And he's like, just give me the teddy bear. I have something better. And she's like, no, but I love my teddy bear. How could I let it go? Behind Jesus' back is the biggest teddy bear she's ever seen. But she'll never get it. Because she won't let go of the little raggedy, dirty teddy bear that she's been holding on to for years. What does that teddy bear represent for you? I'm just thinking about what it represents for me. I can no longer hold on to the status quo. Had the whole conversation about relating to a villain. That's what happens when you hold on to status quo. This is the beginning of it, and then it spirals down into darkness. Because after I keep trying, it's won't work. Yeah, try something else. Don't stop trying. Just change your shift. Change the focus. Change what you're trying. Don't stop trying. Maybe just what you're trying is not what you're supposed to be trying. Okay. Change the status quo. And mind your business. What does that mean? What God has put in your hands to do. What he has told you to do. Don't look right. Don't smell right. It ain't right. According to whom? But it's what he told you to do. So mind that business. Mind that peace. Okay? All will be well. All things work together for those who are called according to his purpose and who love him. I promise, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, about how when you were a kid, you hear these scriptures if you were raised in church. If you weren't, it's okay, no problem. But as a kid, I was raised in church. And so there were scriptures that I heard, and as an adult, sometimes the scriptures get read again, and I'm like, is that always a part of it? I don't remember hearing that. I remember all things work together for the good of those who love God. Probably 6 years ago, it was like, all things work together for the good of those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. Wait a minute. Was that there the whole time? Yes, it was there the whole time. Called according to his purpose, because he has a purpose and a plan for you. And it is for your good, not for your bad. He has hope and a future for you. But we have to trust him. So the change may not feel good. The change may not look right. It may not sound right. You may be sitting here like, man, I keep seeing Colorado. Denver, Colorado, everywhere I turn. People talking about Denver, Colorado. It's popping up on my screen. A job popped up in Denver, Colorado that I'd be great for, but it's Denver, Colorado. Get you some oxygen and go to Denver, Colorado. Denver is beautiful, I'm just going to tell you. But if you lived in the South your whole life and you go to Denver, it's going to be an adjustment. That altitude is different. But my point being is, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Whatever God is leading you to, the change that's being thrust upon you. And here's the other thing. If God has lit a path for you and he's saying, go this direction, everything in your life is going to begin to line up so you can fight it. And that's where the change becomes hard, because you fight it. I was working, had a job. I loved the people that I worked with. And the Lord had already told me, you're going to be here X amount of time. I got comfortable and I said, ooh, I can make this into a career. Now, at the time, I was making $10 an hour. Okay. I can make this into a career. And there's nothing wrong with $10 an hour. I'm just talking about my progression. Okay. But I'm gonna make this into a career because I love the people I work with. I can walk to my job almost. Okay, it's right down the street. I'm good. And then they laid me off. I was working for the church, like in the back office. I got laid. Don't get laid off from the church. Anybody can get laid off from church, but that was my mindset. And I was so upset. Change thrust upon you. Why? Because I fought the path. I was trying to go against what God was telling me to do. So yeah, change was made hard in that moment. But had I not been laid off, I would have never gone to point A, which was to work at this place. And then point A led me to point B. And then point B led me to travel all over the country. And then back here again. And all the while, what it would look like to some is I would take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. But no, all of it was God's plan. And when it didn't make sense, why would you take a job for less pay? Because God told me to. He told me to. And I could see a little bit of the purpose and the plan in that. So it made sense. Now in my life, this is totally against the plan that I had in my head. This is totally against what I saw in my vision of what I was supposed to have, according to God says, no, that's not your plan for your life. I have other plans. My plans, his plans, all end in victory. All end in greatness. I'm going to leave that with you. I hope you have enjoyed this Saturday. I have enjoyed talking to you. Next week, we'll be here again. I was going to give you some insight, but just come. Just show up. Just share this with someone. Like it, share it, turn the notification on, subscribe. You don't want to miss what's coming. I love you guys.
Have a wonderful Saturday. It's beautiful outside where I am.
And I hope it's beautiful where you are too. Be safe out there. Protect yourselves. Be blessed.